Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast. Get ready for some serious bench racing. But be warned, we speak our minds, express our thoughts, and sometimes things can get a little rowdy.
Hate, and he just was influenced by the hate coming from the left, the hate coming from the right.
And let's get back to more club racing and less of this money-grabbing book racing.
It's hard not to be arrogant when you're always right. Yeah.
See what I mean? That's exactly why people call you arrogant, Max.
You may not agree with everything we say, but it's definitely worth a listen.
And our pick, can you stop whatever you're doing?
Join your host, Lefty the Great, with co-hosts and guests as they get together to chat RC.
Hey, after that race that I watched this morning, I have to talk about it.
There we go. $100 right here, $100 throw. Oh no!
I like this.
Yes, what's up? Whoa, it's been a long time since we've done this, Tebo.
It has been a while. I thought I was once a month, but then I was haven't been going fast enough to be on the show this year.
Oh, I saw that. No, man, it wasn't that. You were busy, and everybody was busy, and I didn't want to disturb you. And I see you living your best life, so I think that's cool. But thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. We appreciate you coming on, and shout out to everybody. Hey, you guys, please share this. We only got 29 people in here. What's up? This is live on YouTube and Facebook. It's myself, Lefty, and we got Teebs. I think, you know what, dude? I think people are starting to like the nickname. I even heard Tyler Hooks call you that. I don't know if he was doing it to tease you or if he's generally using the nickname.
Yeah, I think quite a few people, at the races have been saying Teebs and stuff. So I think it's catching on some. I like it. Yeah, it's a good nickname.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
All right. Real quick before we get on, let me say my thank you. So what's up, guys? This is episode number 185 of the No Name RC podcast. This is the NNRC Hotline. We haven't done a live in a long time, so it's good to be back. It's just me and Tebo. We're gonna talk some RC. We got some topics to talk about. We know you guys have got some questions. Please share this. I want to say thank you to all of the NNRC squad around the world. We can't do it without you guys. Thank you for all the love, sharing, comments, everything that you guys do to support the NNRC. We can't do it without you. Shout out to the patrons of the podcast. We can't do it without you guys. We appreciate your support as well. It really helps pay some of these bills around here. We greatly appreciate that. If you wish to be a patron, there is a link in the written description of this podcast. Please sign up. Every little bit helps. We give early releases, Patreon-only podcast, and we will have some competitions there as well. Also, shout out to the awesome sponsors of the podcast. Showing the sponsors some love shows the podcast some love. So we have affiliate links, coupon codes. Some save money, some help us out. Not everyone has a coupon code, but if you do decide to support that sponsor, just tell them that you heard about us from the podcast. And they are Invisible Speed, TZO 200 Tires, TNR Fuels, High Tech RC, Beach RC, Tekno RC, Lugs Racing Tires, Mayako, JQSM, G-Spec RC Tuning, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, RaceCraft USA, Clinic RC, RCGP, House of RC, JTP RC, honorary because he comes on and puts his time. We greatly appreciate that. Shout out to David Ronafalk and the DR Shop, and Alex Hagberg, and my boy RC Kevin, who can't be here tonight, but he's driving home. And we guys need to share this. We only got 34 people. Share this, guys. I know some people are getting home, so share this to all the groups that you can. And we got Jared Tebo on here. He hasn't been on in a while, so this is a special night. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Let's say hello to some people here. We got Kevin Mendez in. What's up, dude? How are you? He says, "What's up, Jared? How are you?"
Oh, what's up, Kevin? Yeah, he's always commenting on my stuff and big fan for sure.
Yeah, he's up in the up there at RC Madness up in Connecticut. They had a season opener here last week. They had quite a good turnout.
Nice,
dude. It was a lot of racing this past weekend. Like a lot of racing going on.
All the Midwest tracks are finally opening up. Fastlane finally opened up. I was able to get some practice in this week, so I think kind of all throughout the Midwest tracks are starting to open up right now.
Yeah,
cool.
And even just worldwide, I mean, even Europe had a lot of races. Like my friends in Australia, they had 2 races going on. We got the big race going on this weekend in Europe, the IBC / Europe.
Man, that track looks awesome.
Do you like that?
I think it looks really cool. Yeah,
it does, isn't it? It's glue too, so it's really high traction. Yeah, it's like mixed Elmer's glue with like 3 to 5 parts water.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful location, like bleachers, facility, and all that type of stuff.
It looks amazing.
And the competition, it's stacked. Like every single fast person is there. And it's 2 races this weekend. Did you know that?
No.
So
what do you mean 2 races?
So
like
it's the Euros warm up because the Euros are there, right?
Yeah.
So they're having Yao Figueiredo had the IBC International Buggy Challenge last year. And so he's having that. So on Saturday, the top 15 from qualifying will go into a 45-minute main that will happen on Saturday, and that will be whoever wins that will be the IBC champion. And Sunday they do all the ladder racing, and then that will be the Euro warm up.
For the warm up, yeah,
right. The main. So that should be interesting. And you know what?
That's pretty cool.
This will count for both races. Count for the top 25. Rankings.
I thought
I talked
top 25.
Oh, we lost you. We lost Tebo. Oh, I muted him by mistake. No, you're muted. He muted himself. He's muted. I don't know. Maybe you're muted, dude. Can you hear me? You're muted on this screen. So let me see. Anyway, we're gonna let Tebo work that out. What's up, everybody? There we go. We can hear you. It must.
Yeah. Somehow my mic. Someone was calling me, and then my mic went mute.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Don't call Tebo right now, everybody. He's on a very important live.
It was Drew Singer from Nitro Pro.
Drew, I'm surprised he isn't on her yet.
I know he's jamming us up.
What's up, Zach Ryan? Congratulations to those guys. They had a great race over there in Australia this past weekend. Jarrett Malveda, happy birthday. Carlos Arredondo, what's up? That's your teammate.
Oh, yeah. Carlos, what's up, dude? See you soon.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll be there Tuesday too. I get there. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. All right. So what about you, Teebs, man? You've been it's been a busy year for you. It's been a busy first 4 months for you guys. Lots of racing.
Yeah, it's been busy. Have some races. I've kind of had, I don't know, it's been an interesting year. I feel like my cars have been really good. I've been driving really well. I've had some of my best qualifying, like DNC and Nats. I mean, fighting for the TQs, TQing rounds, and then just not really the main event finishes that I've wanted. Kind of happened to SIC2, and then P&B was just that race is just really hard. With the way that they water and just how that works. And, unfortunately, just I had no speed when the track was watered, and they watered right before pro, both rounds of qualifying. So, I didn't have
that was your worst race so far.
Yeah. I just had no traction in the qualifiers, and practice I ran really good. I was really happy with my cars, and then my mains I thought were actually pretty good. My Truggy main was really good. I made some setup changes, picked the right tire. I thought my truck was awesome. I thought I drove really well. It's just the competition is insane right now. Like, I mean, I drove a really good race and I started 8th. I think I got marshaled maybe twice in 45 minutes, and I finished 6th. And I mean, I had the lap time pace to to maybe battle for like a 3rd or something like that. I didn't have like the crazy pace, I don't think, to win, but I had the pace to be right there. You just kind of had to start there. And that race is weird because of jokers. So basically, like, if you're in the top I would say 3, 4, you pretty much have to joker the first lap or you're going to have people pass you. But me starting 8th, I didn't take the joker. I didn't take my jokers for a long time. So then it's kind of hard to tell the pace that you're going. So you kind of just have to, I was trying to like know that limit of how hard I can push without making mistakes. And, but especially this year, the joker was so much faster that you really had no idea where you were on the track. But I was happy with my Truggy main. And then Nitro Buggy, I thought my car was actually pretty decent, but just had really rotten luck. I was maybe a little too aggressive on the start. I was going to pass basically 2 cars before like the second or third turn or something. And I had already passed 1 car, pretty much passed another one, but they kind of fought back a little overly aggressive in my opinion. And so I was, kind of on the wrong end of that and got flipped over. And then, man, I saw it too. It was like in slow motion. The marshal just double grabbed the side of my car.
And cut you out?
And, yeah, flamed me out. And,
oh, man.
Thinking back, like I should have just revved it when I kind of saw him reaching like that to like scare him. And then also to have it not like muffled down.
Right. It wouldn't have been so bad.
Yeah. Hopefully he could have just flipped it over, but yeah, I didn't even know what to do. I've never had that happen like in a main event before.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, normally you have experienced marshals in the A mains, but the way that Race Time does their races, which it's not a diss on them, but they move the race order all around to try to have the pros run not super late. So then sometimes we just get put after races that we shouldn't really be put after. So then we have just really bad marshals. And
okay, I get you.
It was like a Sportsman Buggy something main, I think.
Right.
Where they're just, maybe just
like new guys coming to the race and all that stuff.
Racing Nitro. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they're having a marshal for the pro drivers, which is, can be really intimidating as well. I mean, I'm sure the guy didn't want to flame my car out.
But yeah, mistakes happen though. And when you're unexperienced.
Yeah, it happens. And like that restart, it took a long time because like all the mechanics were coming back because it happened so soon. So like Graham wasn't even in pit lane yet. And, he's not able to watch my car when he's trying to walk back. And then the marshal just kind of like tossed it into the pit lane. And, I'm trying to yell down where it's at. And he's like trying to look for me out on the track and didn't know where my car was. So it was kind of a big mess. And when I got restarted, I was basically like with the lead pack. So then I think I took a couple jokers to try to get away, but I wasn't wanting to mess anyone's race up. And then I ended up getting flamed out again by another marshal.
Twice in one main?
Yeah,
no
twice in one main. Yeah. So I crashed on that back right, or I'm sorry, the back left where like we were allowed to cut the track for some reason. And that's a whole other topic. But anyways, I crashed over there. And like I never flame out.
Right.
And the marshal like flipped it over, threw it down, and it was dead. I was like,
I think I saw that on Live RC. Weird. I think I saw that on Live RC.
And so then after the race, I was like, man, I don't know how I flamed out over there. Well, another Tekno driver, he was standing right over there, like outside of the track, just watching. And he said that when the guy had the car and like threw it down, his hand was up underneath it.
Touch the fly.
And he said like after he set it down, he was kind of like moving his fingers, like he did flame it out. And they were saying like it was running and then you could hear him like kill it.
Right.
So
they flamed out with his finger.
Yeah, the finger underneath the bottom. So
I won't do that again because that probably hurt.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't revving it or anything like that, but still, yeah, that will definitely catch you off guard.
Yeah, rimfire real quick. So what happens is when guys go to pick it up, maybe their hands or maybe the body will cover the exhaust hole. and then you're idling because you don't want to rev it up, and so that quick. That one little tap, like that's covering up, we'll just turn it off, shut it off one time. So if it's revving up a bit, maybe not so, but if it's just idling, it will do that. Real quick, and then we'll move on. So you said, I kind of experienced that too, watching the, when I was watching the Nitro Truggy race, I could follow it for some reason. But when it got to Buggy, guys got split up so bad. I was like, I couldn't really follow it without Scotty and them guys explaining it to me. So I was thinking, as a racer, we actually said this on the podcast. I bet you it felt like you was out there qualifying, because it felt like you was on your own clock at some point, which kind of takes away from the racing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it really felt like that because I was never, I can't really. I mean, the Nitro Buggy, I was basically out there just driving around. It felt like a practice day or something because I wasn't racing with anybody. But I mean, for Truggy, I definitely, it felt very odd because I had no idea who I was racing with. And like at the end, I thought me and Tyler Jones were battling for 5th.
It was hard.
Or me, Tyler Jones, and Cole Ogden was battling for 5th. And, I'm sorry, like 4th and 5th, because I was trying to pass Cole, I think, and he ended up finishing 5th. And someone took a joker like on the last lap or the second to last lap and like passed us, and I really thought I was going to be on the like legit podium, but like the race time top 5.
Right.
But, it was weird for sure.
It was difficult to watch. It was hard to watch. So I can imagine for you guys not being able to battle next to that person, because that's what it's, And I just wanted to touch on that because you're saying about the competition. When I watched you guys at DNC, what I saw was, and I might have said this, is like I saw first to third, they were kind of out there away from people and they were fine. But like from 4th to like 8th, it's a 45-minute dogfight out there at some point. Like, that's what it's like. Like people don't understand. Like you guys are so close. And you guys are out there fighting, and it's just hard to get away from each other. I wouldn't even say top 3, because I think like the top 2 like get out usually. Like at the Nats was another good example. Like the top 2 got out there. It was Mayfield and Fenn, and then like it was like and Mason and all that guys.
Nats, there was a pretty good freight train really at the Nationals. I mean, that was another one where I mean it was like. And Buggy, I had really good speed qualifying, really good speed in the semi, and then I screwed up a little bit with my tire choice for the main. It just got dark, temperature dropped. So I didn't have kind of like that fighting pace that I really had all week. But, I had a good start and I was kind of right there. I think even in that one, like I crashed, maybe 3 times in that hour final. And you're just like the pace is crazy.
It's just madness, man.
It's so fast, and it's so hard to like drive like that fine edge and not, and not make those mistakes, but then push so hard to still have that crazy pace. I mean, every race we've been at, really, like we're running faster laps in the mains than we did in qualifying.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fast guys in that like it's like these A mains from like I say the top 10. These guys are good. Like you got like the young Mason Fullers and these guys coming up in there. And,
he's having a crazy good year. Is he? He's a really skilled driver, and I mean you can tell like he's really gelling with those cars, and which was crazy. I was like, man, I don't know why they would have left TLR to do HB, but I mean it's huge props to Mike and those guys for making that decision, because he's having like a career changing year, I would say, this year.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and even Caden's getting back on pace. What I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you can really see. I mean, Caden, no disrespect to him or anything, but he's he's always been really skilled, but I think he's not into RC as much as
yes, I would agree with
Mason
that.
is. So, less practicing, less preparation and stuff. And yeah, he's killing it this year too.
You know what? I have to, because this was, well, we might as well segue into this next topic that I was going to ask you about. Who has been your biggest surprise, good and bad, this year?
I would say surprise good would be, I would say probably Mason.
Okay.
He's running really, really good, like showing that he can run the long mains, like not just like an e-buggy main, and really battling up there. So I would say he's a surprise on the good side. I'll even say Dakota has surprised me this year with, again, not to mean any disrespect or anything, but being able to like finish,
yes,
and things like that, and even sometimes like some of the A-main warm-ups, like at Nats, I mean, he flamed out like a bajillion times in the warm-up. And I think he did another race. I was like, dude, there's no way he's going to finish. Like he flamed out 4 times already.
That's crazy
in the practice. And yeah, he'll run the whole main, and he's so wildly skilled as a driver. It's, obviously I don't want him beating me, but it's cool to see him finally like locking in some wins that he's deserved for a while.
Yeah, that national title has he's had it in his grasp a few times and lost it.
Yeah.
And he's still young though. Like he's only 24. It's still crazy to believe that.
Really? He's only 24?
Yeah, I think maybe 25 now, yeah.
Yeah.
Still,
yeah.
I would have to say,
because he was like around when he was so young. So it feels like he's older than that, but
yes. I would say Mason is. I'm not surprised at Mason because I always have faith in him. But I think my surprise has been Joe Bonehorse, and his confidence, he seems to be more relaxed, seems to be enjoying it. And
I mean, he's always been a very skilled driver.
Yes.
I think, kind of like me moving from Kyosho to Tekno, he needed an environment change, and obviously those cars are working good and they're suiting him well. And I think he's having fun at the races. And he's always been a skilled driver. Some people just kind of, get in little funks here and there. And I'm happy to see him doing good.
Me too. How about who surprised you? Who's not doing as well as you thought they would this year so far?
Probably a couple different people. I would say Cavallari has surprised me a little bit. Just for like,
it's weird seeing Cav in B mains.
Just like lack of pace in general. Where just like not even having bad luck, just straight up qualifying in B mains.
Yeah.
But then in the racing too, we used to, especially when like me, Cav, and Mayfield were on AE, there's this thing called pudge luck. Right. And, he had so much pudge luck for so long. It seems like it's kind of
worn off.
Yeah, it's worn off a little bit, which is a bummer for him. I mean, I don't ever want to see people, struggling and things like that. But yeah, I mean, he's just having kind of just rotten luck. I can't remember.
I don't think he's made a A-main this year.
I know. I'm trying to think of like, I know like a couple things have happened in some of them where he was like in transfer spot or close to one. I know at P&B, like his body popped up and they didn't have a body clip. Like he ran around 3 laps with like an alligator. It's like, dude, your race is over. Like they needed to pull it in that very first lap. But
I thought that Cav would do his, like he kind of did at S-Works. He went to S-Works. He kind of struggled for that first year. Then the second year, he I don't know, he got better. He got some wins. He seems to be doing good in 10 scale because he's been doing a lot of that. But he definitely, something's not gelling with him in his program right now. I don't know what it is. I actually have a theory.
I thought he did excellent with his S-Works cars.
Yeah.
Me personally, I thought he should have stayed there. I thought he was doing really good. Like those cars are obviously good. But I think, you know, he kind of wanted to be on like more of a
bigger team.
I don't know, quote unquote, like legit team or something. You know, but it's tough. I will say it's very difficult to be teammates with Dakota because Dakota seems like he does the best with stuff that no one else can drive. And even like I've never been teammates with him for the car, but like for tires, I've been teammates with him a couple different times on Proline and on AKA. And it's like when I thought my tires were terrible, he's out there like melting the field. And I'm just like, dude, I'm on the same tires. Like I'm on the same sauce. I'm like, he's trying to help me. I'm like, I don't even know how you can even go around.
Yeah. So his setups don't translate to you guys.
So I think the car is kind of, and I've heard that from teammates in the past, like Dustin Evans and stuff when he was on TLR and with Dakota's. I mean, we've been at races where he's won like a 10-skill race and they look at his car and he's got like his caster blocks on the wrong side and his car has like no steering throw and everything's all jacked up. And it seems so, you know, it's kind of hard. And even, you know, I talked to Mike some, you know, with me and Mike Fuller are good friends and, you know, like asked him about the TLR stuff and, you know, not like he was saying that, but it's just like, you know, even if Dakota's going good, like the cars don't necessarily suit other people. And I would say that's probably what's going on there. I mean, you know, obviously Cav is a very skilled driver. If you look at the results, he's comfortable with their four-wheel drive because he's able to win races and stuff like that. But, you know, maybe he's just not comfortable with some of the other cars.
Yeah, it's a shame because I am a big fan of Cavallari. I think he'll figure it out. It's just, will he be able to figure it out in time if TLR? Because you know how it goes. You know, you're only as good as your last race. So
yeah, for sure.
I hope he does. He seems to always figure it out as well. That's the one good thing about Cavallari. I had a theory. I don't know if it's true. I always thought that, like, I always come look at like you and Ryan Lutz. You guys always had your children younger. You know what I mean? You guys, you've got 3 children. Ryan Lutz has got 4 children. You guys are used to it. I think like both Mayfield and Cav now have 2. I know when the second child came, my life changed. You know, and I had children late, so I know it seems like it's not going to be a big difference, but it obviously isn't affecting Mayfield, but
yeah, I mean, he's like fine wine. He's just getting better with age.
I know, it's like, crazy.
Which is retarded.
Yeah, but I mean, I really want Cav to figure out because guys had an illustrious career, and that's one thing I would like to see. I hate when guys have really long careers like this and they have the world champions, and then like they have so much to give back to this industry, and then they're like not in it. It's just no feasible way to still kind of be in it once you're past your prime. You know, I wish there was some better options for you guys at that point, you know. But I would agree there. Who else do you think's going to struggle right now? And then we'll move on from this here.
I mean, really, I'll say a little bit, maybe like Cole Ogden.
Yeah.
You know, he had some really good races last year, like fighting towards the front, like really good speed, and you know, he hasn't really been like up there fighting.
Right, I would agree with you there.
And just kind of having, you know, just kind of some, you know, tangles with guys and things like that. Where you know, I thought maybe last year was kind of going to be like a building, like he almost had a breakout year, but you know, and then maybe bring it into this year. Yeah.
I agree with you there. I would say there. And he's also like, you know, I think when you get into that spot where he's in now, he's like HB's #1 guy, I would say. Most definitely. And things change when that happens.
Mason,
he's right behind him. Well, he's there. Like,
Mason
but you know,
passed them on the top 25 now.
This is true. But I'm thinking more like veteran. Like when you get up there, like the veteran guy, he's been there long. But I would agree there. Okay. Good. Thoughts on Barufalo? Because I think that your teammate Barufalo is doing pretty good over there in Italy. I was watching him at the last Italian Nationals. He was super fast. He was going too fast. He struck and broke on a bridge, like fourth lap. Like that's Barufalo. Like, you know what I mean? But I think he has adapted to the new chassis really well. He was good at DNC too. He had some glimmers of brilliance. What's your thoughts on Barufalo over there in Europe?
Yeah, you know, as like a person, I like Marco. We're friends. We get along good. I was happy to see him come to the team. You know, at DNC, I thought his car was working pretty good, and you know, he had some good runs and things like that. He's just man, he just drives so hard. He drives so hard and so aggressive. I think he needs to learn a little bit more racecraft and you know, kind of, you know, learn to drive with the cars kind of on the track and things like that. And when he figures that out, I think he's really going to win some races. He's crazy good driver.
Oh yeah,
really fast. Seems like he is pretty in tune with his car too. You know, it's interesting when you get teammates in Europe because, you know, our thought processes are quite a bit different. Our tracks are different. So, you know, he goes one direction with the setup, and at Tekno, we all talk quite a bit and are super transparent with our setups and things that we're trying. And so he's gelled in with the team pretty good. You know, he shares all his stuff. We share all of our stuff. And so it's cool to see the direction that he's going with the car. And it's, you know, giving us some ideas. And yeah, I would really want to see him do well. I hope he does good this weekend. And yeah, I mean, he won that last race in Italy, which was pretty cool to see.
Yeah. I picked him. I think I picked him to be top 3 this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I did. Yeah, I like Barufalo. Okay, moving on. I'm just going through my topics real quick.
Okay.
Thoughts on I asked you if you're going. Thoughts on the Visions live RC race that's happening in July in Jay, Oklahoma at the big Midsummer America.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool. I know a lot of people when they kind of, like I was kind of one of them too. I thought like this is going to be like Supercross, motocross. Okay, it's not as big as probably that, but this is a really big event. I think it's cool. I think it's a great step. Are you excited to be a part of this? Or you think you're gonna go there? It does clash with the ENATs. It does. That was a big topic, but I think we, as an industry, we kind of have to support this, you know, and because this is a good first step into showing people what we do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, when Brandon called me and told me kind of about the concepts and stuff, I'm all for it. I think this is really what we need. I mean, you know my view on kind of like RC and TV and, you know, people need to see it in person.
Yes.
And I think the off-road community is like the perfect type of people that need to see it because they're into off-road because they like the technical aspect as well, especially with that kind of like rock crawler racing. It's kind of like the perfect mix where like those people I think are going to think it's pretty cool. And you know, when you can get in front of people, I think that's the best. That's the best way. So yeah, I'm super excited. I will be there. I won't be doing the ENATs, which I am bummed about. I don't really care about the ENATs very much, but Tekin was really wanting to support it, and they're the title sponsor of the ENATs. And with me joining Tekin this year, I'm pretty disappointed that, and just bummed that I'm not able to support them at that race. But Jim's super cool. He you know, thinks that the Vision race is really good for the industry as well. And just kind of my position at Tekno, I need to go to that Visions race, and you know, it's really close too. It's only 3 hours away.
Oh, really?
For me, so yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about that, and haven't decided if like the whole family, if we're all going to go down there and kind of check out the whole event.
Yeah, it's kind of well. I think your kids will get in for free.
Yeah,
but,
it is expensive, but.
It's worth it.
I know there's been like some backlash, and I don't think people, you know, some of the Facebook posts, people just
Of course.
haven't taken the time to actually think about the logistics of it, where, they can't just let an event run inside of an existing event and not have those people pay their admission.
Exactly.
fee.
And
So,
you get exposure to everything that's there. Like you can go see all that stuff. Like it's worth it. I would love to go to this event. You know what I mean? And I think we have to support it. Like it doesn't have to be full. You know what I mean? It just has to have a good crowd there, has to have some of you guys there, and you guys are gotta be like just cool. Like talk to people, show people how cool this is, have an announcer there that's exciting for the people, not catering to RC people, but catering to just make it exciting. Like Manufacturers Cup. Like Manufacturers Cup.
Yeah, exactly. I hope that, I kind of told Brandon, like, not super small entry, but not having crazy entry count would be better, so that, like we're not just running there all day and people just hear the cars constantly. Like, I hope they can come up with the schedule and come up with the promotion so that they can have people come into the RC area, like when the good drivers are driving.
Yep.
But then also like at a time where they can come and talk to us as well. So,
that'd be perfect.
Yeah. Hopefully it works out. Brandon's no dummy. He's definitely done a good job just with like promotion just for his whole lifetime. And I mean, all of the race series that he is a part of now, like, he's built something pretty darn cool. And
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I am.
I am too.
I'm really excited for it. This could be like, we could be doing this year, and then maybe 3-4 years from now, we can be alongside Supercross or something, or a motocross race, which would even be great too. You know what I mean? I like getting what we do in front of people. We have to be, I think we're ashamed. I think really deep down we're ashamed of what we do sometimes because people just don't get it. But not me.
I don't think that at all. I think you just have to be realistic of where you can put an event on. And the way that our events are structured, we're structured fun. Well, no, just the event as a whole, we're structured as an amateur event. So people want to be like, oh, put an RC race at a Supercross. Well, you can't, because a Supercross is a 3-hour event.
Exactly.
Our RC races are 3 days.
I know. So it has to
They're
be
not
shortened.
set up the same. Well, it just depends. Like people always try to compare it to that, but an amateur national motocross event is structured exactly the same as an RC race.
That's a good idea.
There's professional classes at amateur nationals, and they're a week long, just like our races are. I
never even thought of that.
You're just, you're comparing, like a lot of people are comparing apples to oranges when they say like, oh, put it at this or whatever. Like if we went to a Supercross, yeah, we could do that, but you could only have 20 racers. And the only way you can fund that is you have to have some type of sponsorship money, because you're not going to get any funding from entry fees or anything like that. And
I agree.
So there's just a whole different thing. Like, do we want to showcase RC cars to a crowd at Supercross during the pit thing? And, you're only going to have like a 45-minute window, not even, you can't even say 3 hours or anything, because you're going to have to be like when the practices aren't going on or something like that. So, I mean, that's basically just going to be like a super quick demonstration for 30-45 minutes max. If you want to be at a Supercross event, which, I
get that. I like the amateur idea.
My opinion is kind of worthless. Because it's going to be a bunch of money spent with very little actual like true exposure. But if you want to go to like an actual like event and run our RC races kind of like how they are per se, I do think we need to work on some of our race structure and things like that.
Right. I know what you mean.
Exciting, but you have to focus more at the amateur events, because that's how our RC races are ran.
Right. And so that way, I get it. So the amateur event is long. So that way we still get people in there. We can still, the race promoters can still make some money. It doesn't cost sponsors a whole bunch of money, and we still get promotion on that side. I never actually, because I never knew about amateur stuff like that. So that's actually a very great solution, if you ask me, because that way you can still have a 3-day race, 4-day race, get a bunch of entries there. So you got a whole bunch of people there anyway for the race, watching the race and all that type of stuff, watching the motocross, doing the RC race. Actually, that's a good idea. Very good idea. Very good idea. All right, we do have people asking questions. We're going to take some questions in a couple minutes. I just wanted to talk to Tebo about couple more things. Preparation for Silver State. Silver State is kind of a track that I think you can do really well on. It's going to get rough. It's what you like. You was faster last year. Are you in anything special for Silver State? Are you prepared? I mean, every time I talk to you before a race, you're confident. You always got the confidence. Are you excited for this one? Because I think this can be yours.
Yeah, I am really excited. You know, I'm a pretty, I would say, analytic thinker, a planner. So, you know, I'm always wanting to, like, especially a year like this where I feel like I've almost had a bunch of good races, but just the finishes haven't quite came. So I'm trying to analyze, like, oh, what did I do? What did I do good? What did I do bad? What do I need to change? So, I think I have a pretty good game plan. It's tough when you can't practice really at home. So I'm wanting to get some practice in. I got some practice in this week, planning to get some more practice in on Sunday, and just try to just drive and just so when so you're not feeling rusty or anything when you get there. But yeah, I mean, my cars were awesome there last year. Had one of my best Truggy races, I would say, ever. And even Buggy, I was fighting for a lot of it. I think I just missed on my setup a little bit in the main. And looking to kind of change the year around. I love this race. I like that track. I like the dirt. I feel like my car is going to work really good there. My tires work really good there. And so, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm ready to try to turn my year around and finally get some good finishes.
Sweet. All right. I can't wait to get to this race, so I'm going to enjoy it. Worlds, they're coming up. They're soon. September's going to be here very soon. Are you guys headed over? Are you think you're going to do the Worlds warm up at all? Any thoughts going into the Worlds with Redovon? I heard they will be doing a big track change there. Hopefully it's a huge track to make a change at. What's your thoughts on this Worlds coming up here in it's less than 6 months?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I guess main one thing, I'm not vaccinated. Not planning to get vaccinated. So as of right now, I can't go.
Okay. I thought that you can, I was looking at rules today because I'm actually trying to fly to Italy for RCGP.
I haven't looked in the past maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, but after DNC, Spain's pretty strict.
Okay.
And yeah, you really can't go there. You can't eat at any restaurants, and you can't stay in any hotels or anything. I think even
that
just
can't help. That can't.
Yeah,
work.
and I think even flying into Spain, as of 2 weeks after DNC, when I was kind of looking into it last, it was you pretty much had to have the vaccination and the full up to date. It has to be if you got vaccinated last year, you'd have to get the booster and stuff. And I haven't really looked into it. I was trying to go to the warm up, that was kind of the plan, but now I'm not trying to go to the warm up at all. Okay. I'm going to Southern Nats.
Is it the same weekend?
Yeah, it's the same weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I mean, there's a lot of U.S. drivers.
I think it's not gonna have a very big U.S. presence this year. I have a feeling it's not gonna be.
And even IFMAR, I mean, they made that weird post don't book any travel arrangements to the Worlds because it might not happen. So I don't know. It's so weird because where I live, COVID does not even exist.
Right. Maybe they should have just put it in America this year. You know what I mean? Like put it in Vegas somewhere, or put it at Thunder Alley or something where everybody can get to it without issues. And then once.
Yeah, I mean, that would just make too much sense. I don't know. The sanctioning bodies seem like they just want to, like, I don't know. They have like certain rules and like, I don't know. They're kind of too stuck to them for some weird reason instead of just trying to put on good race events and be good for the actual industry.
I agree with you.
You know, it's like we don't ever need to go to South America for a Worlds.
It's hard. It's expensive. It's expensive. I would, as much as I am looking forward to going to Redovon, I would think for the beneficial, to make it easier for everybody, it would be just easy to do this somewhere like, I don't know, Vegas, or just do it at an existing track where everybody can get to in America. Because everybody can get into America pretty easy. You know what I mean? Well, no, actually, well, the people that are coming are going to be probably vaccinated anyway. Like I'm fully vaccinated, so I can go where I want. But I don't judge people for that. I'm just saying that before everybody gets all mad. But I understand.
No, I mean,
I understand.
I don't care either way. You know, just you know.
I agree. It's gonna be. It should have been moved. I think at the long run, like if they still think it can't happen, I think they should look at putting it in an alternative location, and that way everybody can have a fair chance to attend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's tough. I think it's too late for that. I mean, you know. You don't want to take anything away from, you know, the Baldo family. Now. Like I'm sure they're putting in work. I mean, that facility looks amazing. You know, I would hate it for them, like to host the Worlds and not all the top drivers are able to go. And I don't really know the stance. I know, like, you know, there's a pretty large number of top U.S. drivers that aren't vaccinated, that aren't planning on getting it, and you know,
they just ain't gonna go.
That just won't go. So it's, which I don't know. That's
it is what it is
for the industry, but
it is. Maybe we'll see. Maybe in the future, I've always thought it should be in one. Like I like the fact that it goes to different countries. I really do. But cost wise, I think it should be in one location every year. Sometimes. And maybe just with a track that you can build. But it depends. Or go to areas where it will be popular.
I think it needs to move around, but, you know, there needs to be, like, some more communication within the industry of going to places that are safe, for one, have actual customs, where you can actually, like, ship stuff to and things like that, and where there's actually a market. You know, like why go to a Worlds where there's like no market there?
It's been since that Brazil race. Was it Argentina? Was it in Argentina when customs really was?
I mean, Argentina was bad. That was just I mean, there was so much bad stuff there. Like
I haven't heard many people say too much good things about the Argentina Worlds, to be honest.
I mean, it was crazy. Like, I mean, the customs thing was a nightmare. Like when we flew in, I think one person made it through, Adam Drake, and then like 20 Americans. They said that you had to give them $500 US cash or you couldn't get through.
Yeah.
And, you know, so like crazy. We all, you know, every single person had to give them $500 US cash. And, you know, just like crooked stuff like that's just a bummer. And even people at the track were super, super crooked. The Kyosho distribution people were so crooked there. It was crazy. Like they broke into our container and stole a bunch of stuff.
No way.
And then like they brought it back and then tried asking for a bunch of it for free because they found who stole it. And it was like, dude, you guys freaking stole it. Like,
no way. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And even just the race was like, which was a shame. The track was amazing. But you know, the track had no track crew. Like they legitimately had not a single person for track crew. So when they got the rain, all of us racers went and worked on the track.
Oh, wow.
And they had not one person set there to, you know, like put in place there to actually maintain the track, which was crazy to me.
See, no, when I went to Argentina, we had a blast, but we was way up in Mendoza, and it was so much different. It was organized. It was nice. It was, it was really beautiful up there.
Just weird. Like, I don't know. No one got rental cars, and so I mean, for me, like I stayed on the compound the whole time. I went there twice, and I never went anywhere other than the hotel and the track, and I walked back and forth. And so it was just a miserable trip.
Right.
Both times, the Uruguay Worlds when I went, which was in South America, obviously a different country, a different place. That race was amazing. Amazing track, amazing people, amazing city. Like, I have so many good memories of that place. And then, Argentina, just, I don't know if it was just where the location was or how the organizers were or whatever, but it was not a memorable event for sure.
Sweet. All right. The Kyosho story is amazing. I love it.
There's a big backstory to that, but we won't go into that.
Cool. All right. I think we're gonna go in. We're going for about 51 minutes. We had some questions. One guy actually asked, we was talking on the top 25 and then Mike got killed. So what I was gonna say about the top 25 is that I talked to Rick and that the 2 races that they're having this weekend will count individually for the top 25 rankings. And then you was gonna say something about it, but your mic went off.
I said before, I think like 2 years ago or something, Rick said that he's not counting warm-up races anymore.
Oh.
Because people complained that it's not a true warm-up if they have to try to finish well so that it doesn't mess up their
so it's there. You're only there to warm up, not to do well at. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I never even thought of it that way.
He had said at something that he wasn't going to count those anymore. But
you'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
It gives us something to talk about.
Yeah. I think the list is cool. It stinks I'm like the lowest I've ever been right now, which I'm kind of sad about. But
actually, even in the NNRC Cup, I think you're like 6th.
Yeah. Well, I mean, finishing when you put like 29 cars in the A main and you flame out twice, that kind of hurts your. It's not like, oh man, I had a bad race, I finished 11th. It's like, oh, I had a bad race, I finished 17th.
All right. Greg says 10. He goes, you have 80% of the B main in the A main.
Yeah, exactly.
We had a couple of questions here.
8 straight in and 2 bump.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot. You might as well just make it 20 at that point. We had a question about you using your brakes. You must a gentleman must have watched one of your lives and using your brakes compared to pro guys and normal guys. I'm not really sure, so we're gonna go with this question from Mike Gisler. Yo, Tebo, quick question: on your setup sheets for the Buggies, you have 85mm blue HB springs. Are you running the longer shock bodies or the kit bodies?
And actually, I made a typo on all those. It's the 83 mil, which I don't think they have an 85, but it's their Buggy spring. I personally run just the standard rear shock. So I am not using the long shock body or long shock shaft with the tall shock mount position. I'm just using the standard shock and position.
Okay. We did have somebody that messaged me. They wanted to ask about your Nitro Pro Fuel. One second, let me bring it up. He goes, okay, I have a question for JTP. He goes, can you ask him about his JTP blend for Nitro Pro Fuel? I'm curious to know how he came up with the percentage of nitro and oil, and what he feels the effects of these things are. I got an order of his fuel coming, and I know it will be good. I just want to see what he thinks about it.
Yeah, so it wasn't like, oh, I want to try, a little bit less nitro or whatever. It was basically like I tried their standard fuel. Mm-hmm. It worked well, but I needed something to like clean out a little bit better. So then they sent me some different samples of some different stuff, and we kind of went back and forth, and then I kind of picked like an in-between of 2 that I liked. And, with percentages like that, I think a lot of the companies, like, it's not like oh, that's 25.000 on the percent, you know, or that's 30. And so just kind of like where the blend ended up, like after all the testing, it was, you know, not all the way to 30. It was pretty much like really close to 28. And so we're like, well, let's just call it what it actually is and just kind of make it, you know, it's like
different.
It will, you know, stand out. And it's actually true. Like that's where the number really is, which, you know, I'm sure all the fuels, it's not like they end up exactly on that claimed number, but
yeah. And actually, Robert Parente actually tops on that. He goes, "Do you have to tune it differently with your mix, with your blend?"
I mean, that would just depend on like what fuel you come from. You know, if you come from like VP Testman fuel, which has 0 castor in it, and you put in my fuel, which has which has some castor in it, the tune's going to be different. You know, I would say if you went from like the Nitro Pro 30% to my fuel is going to have a little bit less castor than what their 30% does. But the tune's going to be pretty darn close. I don't think you're going to be like way off or anything. You can switch that and be pretty close. But it just depends on which fuel you're coming from.
Sweet. RC Jars, any news on the Tebo Maxima engine coming out?
I don't know. I see a bunch of OS boxes behind me.
There we go. Product placement. There we go. Product placement.
Coming soon. Coming very, very soon. So,
awesome.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say right now.
Good. That's all you can say. Paul Rodman. What's up, Paul? How you doing? I know he was going to ask this. I actually saw on the turn last night. This was one of their topics, and I was going to bring it up because he had Ronda Drake on, him and Mark Santamaria, and one of it was long lines, waiting in lines, and when is it too many entries? When is a race too big? But we're not going to go into races too big, but we will talk about the lines. I wasn't going to ask you about this. I was going to wait till later, but yeah, what about the long line? Because there were some long lines at PNB, but to be fair, I heard like if you went at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, it wasn't like that. Or if you waited later.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I have a really big problem with the race time races with the practice.
And cutting into line. That's what I know you don't like.
It's just tough. Like, you know, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but like Rivkin probably practiced 3 times as much as I did because he had probably 3 different people standing in line with him. Like I stood in line for the whole line and watched him practice 3 times.
That's unfair.
Well, I didn't even get on the track, and I saw him run 3 different times. And so for me, it's just a moral battle. I like to marshal after I practice, and you know, I don't like to be a scammer, and you have to be at the pro level to have another pro driver get 3 times the practice is completely unfair. And it makes a huge difference. And yeah, it has to be changed. I think it wasn't a big deal when not a lot of pro drivers went there. But now you have all the pro drivers going there, and it's not good.
Yeah, I actually, the guilty culprits that I heard were AE drivers as well. And I heard that they were just
you see people up there
cutting
with
in
like
line.
10 radios in their hand.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, we did it too. But you have to. You can't not do it.
I agree,
and
man.
It's just for me, it's a moral battle, and I don't enjoy that. So it's, do I sacrifice like my living and my possible bonus and how I represent my sponsors by doing it 100% honest, or do I do it 50% honest and try to look somewhat good and try to get the best results that I can? Or do I go, screw it, I'm going to do what these guys do and put the morals to the side and try to have the best race, which,
yeah,
you know, all 3
it's
of
difficult.
All 3 of those scenarios suck. And a lot of people see it. You know, the sportsman guys standing in line, they don't like it either. No one's happy about it. They see the pro drivers cutting in line, and they see all that stuff, and it's just bad. It's bad all the way around. And there's such an easy, simple fix for that. But, I mean, I think if you don't want to do heats, then you have to just do like practice tickets. And to me, that would fix all the race time events. Is, you know, he has to have someone sitting at the bottom of the driver's stand collecting tickets, and, you know, when you sign up, you get 3 tickets per class, and you can use them whenever you want.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense too.
You know, then it doesn't matter how many times someone cuts in line or whatever, because that's just the big problem. When there's open practice and you can practice as many times as you want, like, it's, you know, I
agree.
You can't make up practice on the track. Like,
right. But if you only have 5 tickets, you can only do it 5 times.
Yeah, I mean, the more times a pro driver drives on that track, the better that they're going to get every single time.
I agree with you. I agree with you. It's kind of like, I have to say, it is like kind of like at DNC when they have the 40+ main, and I always thought that was wrong. Like, you know what I mean? I think it.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, there's no one.
Well, it was like
I mean, yeah, Adam's in there, but
right.
I mean, no disrespect to Adam, he's not.
Right, I agree with you.
He's not fighting for any, you know, like,
right.
He's not battling for the wins. Like, yeah, I think it's a little unfair because he can do a lot of testing for Mayfield. But I mean, it should be pretty darn simple for these race organizers. You only run 1 class per car.
Yeah, that's it.
It should be.
But they'll lose too many entries.
A no-brainer.
But like, look at PNB, you lose 10K right there. 10K.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just,
I don't know the answer either.
You have to have a good event. Like, okay, that's cool, whatever. They pulled 1,000 entries, but
you gotta have a good event for everybody.
How many people enjoyed their time there, or thought like the event was ran well? Like, if you can't do the math to figure out how many races you can do in 24 hours, and you oversold the event to where you can't even say, you can't do what you advertise you're going to do. I love Dave. I like Lance, all those guys, but they did a terrible job. Like, yeah, but you can't advertise that.
I agree 100%.
Can't do it. Like, it's so, I don't know. You can have a big event, but it's like you have to make a schedule, and you can only fit so many races in a 24-hour day.
Yep, I agree. I like the ticket idea. Also, just for practice, but I know you're talking about qualifying. When you get it's only so much time in the day, and you know, I guess when you have an event that big,
I mean, there's so many things there. Like, right. You know, yeah, they cut us down to 2 qualifiers, which whatever. I don't really care. But then, like, you know, the way they do the watering there is so bad. I mean, so many people got their cars ruined.
Really?
Like, they would water the track. I mean, one race after water, there was like 50 puddles on the track.
That's a lot of water.
And they're out there driving. And it's like, dude, these people spent all this money, came all this way, waited all day to run their race.
Yeah,
and you gave them a junk track, and you destroyed their car.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't care.
Yeah.
And that's the part that bothers me the most is, and it's just like, you know, and even for Pro Buggy, like, you know, we're all there racing for a living. Mm-hmm. I get money for TQ. My first buggy, I was the first heat. You know, like, if they're going to be watering for the pro class, like, they need to like set the heats like off the finishing order or something so that we're all in the same heat. I was in the first heat. Mm-hmm. Like, I had a legit run. Like, I didn't crash. I didn't need a marshal. I was 16 seconds off of TQ because the track was so slow.
Yeah. I agree with you there.
It's like there's just a lot of things like that where it's
frustrating. It's frustrating. I agree with you. I wasn't there, but I can feel your frustration. And I just wanted to reiterate on something with the practice thing. A lot of people might say, "Oh well, it's not a big deal." Whatever it is, because a lot of people are there standing in line, waiting, like doing the right thing. But not only that, on a pro level, on your case, it comes down, this is your job. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like you look at people getting an advantage at something that you're doing it the right way and they're doing it a different way. And it's frustrating.
I mean, it's super frustrating. Completely unfair.
Yeah.
At the pro level, we have to have the same exact amount of drive time. Like,
I agree with you.
There's no way around that. And at a caliber race, at that caliber of a race event, now that all the pros there, it's not really acceptable.
I agree with
in my mind.
I agree with you. We have a couple more questions. My buddy EKJ 24,000. What's up, dude? How are you guys? Teebs, how important is mental toughness in RC?
I think it's huge. You have there's a couple different stages of mental toughness, I would say. One is just, most people's attention span is like 3 minutes or less. So you have to really be able to fine tune your focusing and be able to focus for, 30, 45 minutes, an hour at some times. But then as far as the mental toughness, like, you have to be able to not be emotional on the track. If someone takes you out, if something happens, you have to be able to remove those emotions and just get back to the job at hand. I would say that's probably the biggest thing. And then, there's a lot of other mental sides, just as far as like being confident with your cars, being confident with setup changes, not getting caught up in other people's noise, things like that.
You was talking to me that you were starting to do some stretches and stuff like that, and I was on you about doing the tennis ball thing. I don't know if you...
Yeah.
Is that working for you? Because I think you're one of these racers. You're getting up. How old are you now? 35?
35.
So in your 36 year, I gotta say that. But you're getting older. I see you. You're living your. You look to be in extremely good shape out there, mountain biking, doing all that type of stuff, which is great. But are you looking at different ways to keep your hand-eye coordination in tip-top shape? Maybe got an extra edge as you get older. Maybe you're one of these racers that are looking to do different things like that, but that other racers haven't gone on that path yet.
Yeah, I have been trying to do something all year this year. Me and Graham have been doing exercises and stretching every morning, every night at every race. And for me, that's been really good just for like my energy level. Mm-hmm. And it's really helped me with my attitude, just being more positive. I think just having better energy just kind of leads to being more positive. And, I watch what I eat quite a bit, but I'm a sugar junkie. And so I've been trying to really cut out sugar too, especially when I'm at the events. I think that stuff's been helping, but I do think I need to work on more of a hand-eye coordination type of exercise as well. I think the mountain biking is good for like, my mental side and my fitness and things like that. But it's not really the same as far as like hand-eye coordination and I don't really like go in club race as much as I probably should and much as I used to. It's hard when you have a family. I mean, when you have 3 kids, like, it's really difficult, Yep. If I'm home on a Saturday, like, I'm not going to go to my local track and go club race.
I agree with you. Spend time with your kids.
Yeah, it's really difficult when I have so many weekends that I'm gone. And so I used to play quite a bit of like racing video games when I was younger. And I've been thinking like maybe I need to get back to doing that a little bit, because I think that's a good thing, like hand-eye coordination, but also like being able to handle pressure. and like that constant focus. You mentioned the tennis ball thing, and I worked on it for a little tiny bit, but I kind of gave that up, and I kind of forgot about it. And so I haven't really been working on that stuff, but I think that is definitely something that is important and should be thought about and looked into for sure.
All right, we'll take a couple more questions, and I think we're going to wrap it up for today. We weren't going more than an hour with her. Checker Pass, being that you're one of the few who has come from being a kid and done it as long as you have, is it easier or harder now?
Man, I would say it's a lot harder now. It's not that like there wasn't good people back then. Like there was, but I don't know. It's just
the level is faster.
You know, like maybe I was just like above in the driving for like a certain period of my career, to where, you know, like if I just ran a race without any issues, like I could pretty much win.
Right.
Where, I mean, that is just not the case now. Like you have to run faster laps than you did in qualifying. You have to run more consistent than you did in qualifying. You have to get good fuel mileage, pick the exact right tire, and your car has to finish and be working just as good at the finish as it did at the start. You have guys whipping, scrubbing, you know, doing all this type of stuff now. Back when you started racing, if you turned the wheels to right or left, you was a superstar. You know what I mean? It's the level. Everything evolves. Yes. I just think, you know, it's just different. I mean, look at any industry. You know, people always try to compare, like, you know, I follow motocross really tight, and people are always trying to compare, you know. Yeah, but you're one of the people that's had till now, and I mean, you've been through different because I've been through all the different stages. You know, it's there's just you guys probably invented most of that stuff. That's what happened. You, Cav, and Mayfield probably invented most of this stuff that guys are now taking it to a different level now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just evolution. It's like amazing for you guys, for you three to still be at this level. Like what, 15 years later? Like you're 35, getting 36. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean longer than that, really. Yeah. You know, Mayfield's, you know, me and Cav kind of got to the top before Mayfield did, probably by about 3 or 4 years. But I would like pretty much from 04, 05 on till now, like, you know, you probably can't find very many races where at least one of us wasn't in the top 3. You know? I know, it's insane. You'll never see that again. You might not even find a race. You'll never see that again. You'll never see that again in RC. I don't think. People don't realize how great that is. Yeah, it's pretty wild, really, when you think about it. I mean, that's a long time. I mean, Cavallari won his first Worlds in 03. That's crazy. Know, that's so pretty crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, I finished third at the I finished second at the Roarnats in 8 scale in 2000, 22 years ago. Well, you went to the 2002 Worlds, so like 2000 Worlds. 2000. Oh, did you do the 2000 Worlds too? I qualified 8th. Yeah. In Vegas. Yep. That's so hard to believe. Yeah. That's 22 years ago. Pretty nuts. Crazy. All right. That's so crazy. Jesus, that's amazing. RC Jers, Tebo, have you tried the option knuckles with the carbon plates on the Tekno, Buggy, and Truggies? If so, what are your thoughts? I have tried them a little bit on the Buggy. I prefer the 5-degree incline, and so because the new knuckles are 0 incline, so it just kind of changes the steering feel, and I just prefer the 5, so I just run the standard spindles. Lawrence Land, Jared, will you be pitting with Stevie Slower or Travis anytime this summer? Yeah, Stevie and Travis, they're super cool guys. You know, I do pit with them sometimes at Fastlane. Just kind of depends. Unfortunately, a lot of the races at Fastlane, I'm at a different race. So I think they have a race coming up next weekend that I'm going to be at Silver State, so I'm going to miss that one. But yeah, I'm hoping to catch some of the races out there if I can. And yeah, normally we end up kind of pitting by each other, but I'm not 100% sure.
You know Lauren?
I'm not sure if I do.
He's actually my uncle, like really my uncle.
Really?
Yeah, I've never met him. He was just from like...
he's in the KC area?
Yeah, he's from Kansas, actual Kansas.
Oh, okay,
and he raced a lot of 10 scale. And then like I didn't know, and like finally I met him, he was my uncle, and then I found out he was into RC too.
Oh, that's really
like
cool.
He is literally my uncle. He's my dad's brother.
Huh.
It's crazy, isn't it?
You better come visit him out here.
I know, he keeps telling me to come visit him. I have to. Real quick, a couple more questions, and then I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Walter Carpenter, what's the best car you've ever driven?
That's a tough one to answer. Trying to think of like those races where you just like yeah, I've had a couple really good cars. I would say probably when I first switched to Kyosho, that MP9 I think was pretty ahead of a lot of the other cars at that time. Like 2009, 10, 11, that car was pretty darn awesome. Honestly, right now, my Tekno Truggy, the 2.0 Truggy, like, I don't think I've been consistently battling for race wins for kind of this stretch of time, you know, like all of last year, and then even going to this year, like, you know, I've still been really competitive in Truggy, and I mean that truck is phenomenal.
Dude, the E-Truggy looks great.
Yeah, I haven't driven an E-Truggy yet. But,
actually, Charlie Treb asked, "Are you gonna race E-Truggy this year?"
I would have at the ENATS, but unfortunately, I'm not going there, so I probably won't race E-Truggy. I think there might be a couple pros that are going to run E-Truggy at Silver State, but I'm just sticking to the standard 3 classes.
It was huge at PNB. Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, but I mean, they only do 1 skill level, so
yeah.
It's kind of hard to. I mean, if you compared all the e-buggies compared to Truggy, it wouldn't even be close.
E-buggy was huge. Oof, was huge.
Yeah.
It was huge. Born RC, what are your thoughts on prize money races like TNR Fuel Challenge and the upcoming Visions race?
I think it's awesome. You know, for us pros, I mean, that's our living, you know, and unfortunately the way that the industry kind of is, like, all of our living is pushed onto the companies that support the industry, which makes it tough on them, you know, like the companies, you know.
There's no prize money.
Yeah, there's no prize money from the you know,
races.
Promoters, which you know, which is I think is a bummer. You know, they kind of, you know, they not like, I don't want all the pro haters to jump out here, but you know, they kind of need us at the big races, and they kind of promote us. And,
it brings prestige. And,
you know, like, yeah, they kind of need us there. And, you know, I don't think they're, you know, it's not like, oh, starting an RC track or putting on an RC event, you're like making $1 bajillion.
Yeah, but some of these promoters make enough money where they can.
Some of them are making a lot of money right now. Yeah. And, you know, I don't want to say like taking advantage of the industry, but I don't think they're putting enough back into the industry as
I agree with you.
Compared to what they're pulling.
I agree with you. And it don't have to be much. You know, $10,000 pot split out. You know, I agree with you. I agree with you there. Tuj, thoughts on longer shock bodies on the rear of the buggy, and we're gonna take one more question, and I think that's gonna be it for tonight, because we're going on 1 hour 20 minutes.
For me, so the short shock versus long shock is kind of just like moving the piston where it is in the shock body. So I think the long shock has a benefit of not having the piston like all the way down in the shock body when you are like landing and stuff. You know, when the car's at like full droop, sometimes you can have like a suction effect of the piston being at the bottom, but the piston doesn't get up close enough to the cap when the shock is like loaded. So for me, the upside of the piston suction going away is kind of a downside with not getting the pack up into the cap. So I prefer the short shock because the oil and the piston kind of pack up into the cap more, and the shock has more support for my style of driving, which the way that I corner, I kind of brake early and accelerate early, and I load the side of the car pretty hard. Even though it looks like I'm a really smooth driver, I kind of side load my car a lot. So I need like a certain rear end support feel. And so I just get that better with the short shock.
Okay, sweet. And our last question will be from Walter Carpenter. He goes, how is the Tekin setup versus the McLaren in your e-buggy?
Man, the Tekin setup's really, really good. You know, I do have to give Macklin some credit there. They do have some good software. It feels smooth. Brakes. The Macklin stuff always had really good brakes. You know, a lot of the 8-skill stuff, we have this like mid-range ramp that's hard to get away from. I think the Tekin is definitely better on like the smoothness on the power, and I have my brakes working pretty good. The Macklin stuff, I just really had a lot of issues just with durability and not being able to finish the races. You know, the Tekin seems really bulletproof. There's actually a lot of adjustments on there, and so I've been able to kind of fine tune them. And for me, I'm really happy with my Tekin setup. I'm really hoping to have a good e-buggy race. I just struggle in e-buggy for some reason. I think it's kind of just gotten to my head a little bit. You know, honestly, I feel like I have the best feel that I've had in e-buggy ever, like my Orion stuff, my Macklin stuff, my Tekin stuff. I feel like right now I have the best feel. I just need to get a better result.
Yeah, it's true. Hey man, it's e-buggy. It pays the bills. It's big. I think, like, what it sounds like a lot of big disconnect is a lot of guys like them to feel like nitro cars, maybe the throttle curve. Maybe that's why Drake runs the clutch. But then I'm like, that's just more maintenance for these e-buggies. Like, nobody wants to run a clutch on the e-buggy. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. If I go out and I only run the e-buggy, I'm like, man, my e-buggy feels amazing. Like, it feels so good. But then when you drive the nitro and the e-buggy back to back, they just don't feel the same. And I mean, a lot of times my car feels good driving. Like, I just can't put it together. Like, I don't know. It's kind of gotten to the point now where I think I want to do so good that the pressure is way too heavy on myself at the races. So like when I go to local races, like I win the e-buggy every time, it seems like.
Right.
And like I have killer races in the e-buggy when the pressure is not there. But at the big races, I think I just been putting too much pressure on myself. So I'm going to try to back that pressure off this weekend, just have more fun, drive my e-buggy, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man. So Silver State next week. I'll see you next Tuesday or probably next Wednesday. Should be a good race. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be good. Going to be a lot of good racing. We got a good race this weekend. Before we go, do you want to make a pick? Who you think's going to win this weekend? Usually your top 3 in Europe this weekend.
I mean, I'm kind of ashamed to say I really don't like follow a lot of races that close. Like I'm not even sure who's even there.
Everybody.
All the Euros are there.
Everybody's there.
Yeah. I mean,
it's hard to count out Ongaro.
Ronald Folk. I'm gonna say Ronald Folk, Ongaro, and Marco are gonna be my top 3.
I think that's my top 3.
Not in any particular order, but just kind of seeing those guys at DNC. seeing some of the Euro guys
Mm-hmm.
there, and I see some of the results. I just don't follow the races like super close all weekend. But I would say that those, I don't know. Canas is really good,
really good
too. But I feel like he doesn't race very often.
He does, but mostly in Spain.
Oh, okay.
But he'll be at this race.
Like he's like still like so up high in the top 25, and like I've raced him, I don't know, once in like the last 4 years.
He's good though. But he's got that S-Works going good.
Yeah, I think that car is probably pretty darn good.
Sweet.
But I'm hoping Marco has a good race.
Me too. I think he will. Tell us about JTP RC, what people can expect from that in the upcoming months. Real quick, shout out to Dakri Man. Thank you for the super chat, dude. I greatly appreciate that. I still have your hat here. Come to Silver State. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I mean, JTP is still plugging away. The oils are doing really, really good. Most of the Tekno guys use the oils, and even some other brands are starting to kind of, run them. They're super consistent. I try to always have them in stock. My pricing's pretty good on them. The servos, we're really kind of picking up some traction on the servos. The CT2, in my honest opinion, is one of the best 8-scale servos you can buy right now. Not even counting the price, even if it was, $199, I would say it's still like your best bang for your buck servo that you can buy. But for it being, $135, I think it is definitely the best servo you can buy for 1/8 scale cars. That's finally starting to pick up. We actually sold out, and I just got a bunch in. I just got 75 in stock today. Nice. So they're all in stock on the site. The engine is exciting news coming. I just got them, but I want to run them a little bit and just kind of, make sure I kind of understand them fully before I release them to sell. So I'm not sure if I'm going to race with them at Silver State or not. I still have some good engines that I'm really comfortable with, and I don't know if I want to go there with like new engines that I haven't done like a big race on or anything like done like a main on. But I will be debuting those engines really soon, possibly at the Lone Star, which is just a couple weeks after Silver State, or possibly Silver State. I'm not sure yet. But really excited about that. Should be carrying some OS pipes and stuff soon and selling those as some combos. The fuel's working really well. We got kind of messed up with our logistics and just kind of some nitro shortage that was just going on in the US and our shipping and stuff. So it's not super readily available, but the fuel's been working really well. We've been slowly picking up some customers and stuff, but it's just not super readily available yet to where we can go out and like get all of our dealers set up and really like blast the fuel out there. So look for that to kind of pick up the pace kind of the second half of this year. And then, kind of added a couple little things, some fuel line that's been working really well. Some copper grease that I use on my ring and pinion that I really like. Transmissions and like 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive 10 scale cars too. It worked really well. I used it when I was racing 10 scale. And nothing really new, like right on the horizon, but still plugging away and doing good.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Get that hustle on. Hustle, and you're living your best life. Your kids, you're doing the mountain bike thing. Your kids are excelling, and I think your older son's really doing good in BMX.
Yeah, actually, they're not racing BMX. I just posted their bikes for sale.
Oh, well, there's their bikes.
Yeah. Like, we kind of fully committed last year, and then they were kind of like not that into it, kind of into it. So, this year I'm like, hey, like, do you guys want to race or do you not? If we're going to race, which is kind of how my dad was, he's like, if we're going to race, you're going to like take it serious and we're going to race. If you want to ride for fun, that's fine. We have the mountain bikes. We have skate park bikes. We'll go to the skate parks. We'll go to the trails. We ride for fun. But if you want to race BMX, it's 1 day practice, 1 day racing a week. We're going to be taking it serious. And they're like, nah. So they're up for sale. If anyone's looking for some
I saw them. I didn't realize the bikes, the BM.
Yeah.
They're expensive. I didn't realize they're that expensive.
Yep.
So what are they into now? What do you think they're gonna be getting into now?
My littlest guy, Nash, he loves to mountain bike. He is my mountain bike buddy. So I take him. Cole, my 7-year-old, he's into sports like crazy right now. So he wants to play baseball. He wants to play basketball. So we've been learning to play baseball some. We just like missed the sign up by like 2 weeks.
Oh man.
To be on the baseball team like in our town right now. So he's gonna miss out on baseball, but he's gonna do basketball in the fall. And so he's super excited about that. He's really gifted in sports too. He's just kind of like just naturally gifted, it seems like, has really good coordination. I mean, he's great on a bike. And he likes the mountain biking a little, but I don't know. He doesn't like to suffer.
They don't want to crash.
So no, not that. Like the physical suffer of like.
Okay.
And like my little guy, he doesn't mind to suffer, and like to me, I kind of enjoy that part of it. So for mountain biking, you have to enjoy the suffering, or if you don't enjoy that part, then it's going to be pretty miserable. But so yeah, he likes to jump and he likes to ride places where it's more downhill than uphill type situations, but he's all into sports. And then my daughter, she's really into horses. She has a horse, and she just her great grandparents have a farm and they have a bunch of animals, so she goes over there and helps. And then her grandparents, so Megan's parents, they have horses, and they all live kind of on the same property. So she's into that, and she's playing volleyball now.
Nice.
So her first like team sport. And so I think the team sports, I'm not a huge sports person, but I think for kids, the team sports is a really good learning experience that they should go through. So yeah, awesome, I'm sad. Man. I'm sad my boys aren't racing BMX, but at the same time, I didn't really like riding on the track either. So I totally get it. And I'd much rather be out on the mountain bike trails with them anyway. So it's all good.
Yeah, man. I love it. You're living your best life. I love it. You got a good balance. And I tell you that every time I see we talk about our families and whatnot. So that's good, man.
It's tough, man. It's a tough balance for sure. It's definitely not all rainbows and butterflies over here, but we're trying our best.
No, it's good, man. It's a good way. Shout out to Rimfire, Nitro Freak. What's up, BJ? What's up, Isaac? What's up, Lonnie R? Yes, Lefty says, if I put any more boxes on my desk, you need a hood. It's product placement, man. Product placement. All right. I think that's it for tonight, guys. Jared, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. It was a very good chat with you. We're going to do this again. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, you promised me once a month.
I know, but you look like you haven't. We got busy. We was doing 2 a week. And yeah, I see, like, I kind of get it too. When you're off, you're off. You know what I mean? And sometimes you need it. It was a hectic season, hectic first quarter. It's not even going to stop because you still got a lot of racing. No,
my next couple months is way busier.
It's crazy.
So,
a lot of racing.
Yeah.
A lot of racing. It's good to see, though. Good to see.
Yeah,
all right.
Sure.
All right. Well, everybody check out Jared Teebs at JTPRC. Show him some love.
JTP.com.
Shop JTP.com.
JTP.com. Yes,
there
sir.
we go. Get your oils, get your servos, and stay tuned for the new engine that's dropping. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. We will be dropping a podcast tomorrow, episode 186. And then Monday, we'll be dropping a recap of this race this weekend. And then I'll be in Silver State. So check us out on the YouTube. Follow us there. We'll be doing some cool videos. And, man, thank you guys for the support. We greatly appreciate it. And remember, everybody, Nitro's the glory. E-Buggy pays the bills. If you ain't grinding, you're sliding. Lefty, and Tebo. We're out, man. We're out. But you know what? I didn't have it on the outro in time, so now I have to find it. Everybody, have a good evening. We'll talk to you later. See you later.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on. See ya.